not that big a deal. Okay, this shape and this shape is a parabola. And if you didn't know how to spell it, it's in the next sentence. Now, when I ask you the axis of symmetry, this went through at -1. So, putting the axis of symmetry answer has to be x equals -1. If you didn't put x equals, circle it so you don't forget. The vertex. The vertex is the highest or lowest point. So, on the first one, I gotta, because they don't have the worksheet. The first one was -2, -3. Remember, in parentheses with a comma. And the second one, the vertex was 2, 1. This is the lowest point. This is the highest point. So this has a minimum of -3. If you said -2, you're talking about left and right. It's the lowest point, -3. This one has a max of 1. Okay? You can put min of -3 and max of 1. Can't spell. Okay, the axis of symmetry of this one, it's always what the vertex is. So it's x equals -2. This one is x equals +2. Think about it. If this point is 2, 1, it goes through 2. If this point is -2 to -3, it goes through -2. The axis of symmetry cuts the parabola in half. And the last question, I love it. If I put in a 0 for x, it is now a linear. Actually, what it really is, wouldn't that b be gone too? It'd be a horizontal line. Because it's going to be y equals some number. Nobody thought of that.
I know, I did not just understand.
Yeah, that made no sense.
Okay, so let's say I have y equals 2x squared plus 3x minus 5. Okay, there's my quadratic.
Okay.
X is 0. 0 times 0 times 2.
0.
0. 3 times 0.
0. So it's just negative.
So all I have, Vux Hoy,
Oh.
horizontal line, 0 slope, y equals something. So it becomes that.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Everything's going to come together in this next 2 chapters, by the way. No one thought of that yet. I've been just waiting for someone to say, hey, wouldn't it be a horizontal line? Yeah. Okay, on your notes. I would like for you to be able to look at an equation and tell me if it's quadratic. What does it have to be quadratic?
An x squared.
An x squared. So, what if I put y equals x cubed plus x squared plus 5? Is that quadratic?
No,
Why not?
because x squared isn't the highest.
X squared has to be the highest. So when you know that x squared, that's the highest exponent, when you graph it, I don't want to see anybody's homework have lines or half curves. When you graph something with x squared, it's going to make a parabola. A parabola has symmetry. Axis of symmetry cuts it in half. So it's not going to go like this and then like that. So everybody's going to graph 2 tonight. And when you graph 2 of them, I want them to look like parabolas, please. Okay? Because they are. If you're not getting a parabola, you're doing the arithmetic wrong. And we'll do that in a minute. Okay, the minimum and the maximum. Is that going to have a max or a min?
Max.
So if it's negative 5, 7, what would you say? Max of 7. Axis of symmetry, x equals negative 5. Okay?
Wait, for the axis of symmetry, why would
It's the imaginary line that cuts the parabola in half. And how do I know it's there? Because I know the vertex is in the middle.
And you
Oh,
can
and
draw
it's
it there.
vertical, and so that's why it's x. Okay.
Draw it there.
Okay, anything else? All right, let's talk about how to graph. The only mistake you're going to make in graphing is arithmetic.
Facts, bro.
Okay, when I give you a now we know it's going to make a parabola. So we're going to put a T-chart because you don't know the shortcut yet. All right? I want you to pick random numbers, but since you're just starting out, these are good random numbers to start with. Okay? If I put in, now think carefully before you call out. If I put in a negative 2 for x, go ahead. What do I get for y? Now think about it. You can do it mentally. You can use a calculator. But let's see what you come up with. Actually, I want to change this to a 3. So put your hand down. There. Let's do that one. You're plugging negative 2 in for x. What'd you get?
Negative 12.
That is incorrect.
I got negative 17.
You are right.
All right.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Negative 17. If you are not going to do this mentally, in your calculator, here's how you plug it in. Negative 3, left parenthesis, negative 2, right parenthesis, caret 2. There's also an x squared button. Okay? Minus 5. If you're going to do it mentally, because most of these are going to be really small numbers, this is what you do. Think of order of operations. Exponent is first. So negative 2 times negative 2. Positive 4. 4 times negative 3, negative 12, minus 5. Okay? Remember, x squared is always positive. You don't need to plug in parentheses. Just do it in your head. What's negative 1 times negative 1? 1. What does that give you? Negative 8. Put in a 0. What do you get?
Negative 5.
Yes, and that's the y-intercept, guys. In a standard form of a quadratic equation, that's your y-intercept every single time. Because when you put 0 in, you get rid of those. The only thing left is negative 5. Okay? And then, what's 1 going to give me? What's 1 going to give me? You guys don't need to plug 1 in. You don't need to plug 2 in. You already know that negative 1 times negative 1 is 1, and 1 times 1 is 1. So you're going to get the same answer. If you don't get the same answer, something's wrong. Because 1 times 1 and negative 1 times negative 1 is the same answer. So whether you do the positive first or the negative first, it doesn't matter. It's going to be the same answer. All right, and then you would graph it. Negative 2, of course I don't have any room for 17. It'd be, let's say, up here. Okay? Negative 1. Oh, I didn't go down. Oh, it'd be way down there. So let's just do this. Okay, negative 2, negative 17. Let's say it's down here. Positive 2 gives me the same exact point, because that's going to be my y-intercept. Now, the y isn't always the middle. The vertex does not have to be on the y-axis. You could have a parabola that looks like this. That's pretty lousy picture, but see, that's not the vertex. The vertex is over here. It's not automatic. Yeah.
Do you have to like plot all the points? Or can
Well, you need at least 5 to make it curve. Now, if you had 15 of them, you'd have a perfect parabola. Because if you had all the ones in between, all the negatives, you would get, well, let's finish it. Okay, 0, -5, 1, -8. So let's say it's about right there and about right there. I don't want anybody doing that. Okay, if I put in every little number in between, like 1.5, 1.8, it would definitely curve. And so make sure it curves. Now, do you need these points down here? Yeah, you kind of do. Because what happens if you only have 3 points, let's say you have that one, and that one. What's it going to look like? It's going to look like a V. You need another point to see where the curve is. You also need another point if you have a parabola that's way down here, okay? Let's say that's the vertex, that's a point, and that's a point. Well, you need another point, so let's say we get this one. Okay, now what I suggest you do is get one up here. Because here's what kids will do wrong. It doesn't do that. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger as it goes higher in this case. So it's a good idea to get as many points as possible all over your graph to be accurate. Okay?
Are you gonna give us one for decimals?
If I gave you one with decimals, which I'm not today, you're going to get them when we do story problems, because in the real world, these are decimals. You know, the guy that built the bridge, he probably did his decimal wrong. You're going to see a video where the bridge falls apart.
I was really confused on the bridge.
Well, here's a bridge, okay? And those are parabolas. And if you don't do those correctly, the bridge falls apart. I have a video from like the 1930s or something, and the bridge fell.
1930s a video.
Yeah, the bridge fell.
I had video back then, there's no sound.
Right, there's
Oh,
a video.
wow.
Black and white.
No,
I
there
don't-
was sound.
Well, somebody took it with a camera and somebody put it on, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's not
Like I have all these old movies at home from when I was a little kid and about ballerina,
Like what?
and I had them put on a
I
disc.
could not imagine that.
Yeah, I
Me
can't
either.
Yeah, I
You're
wasn't
so
very
heavy
graceful.
On your feet. Oh my god.
With my little tutu.
I'm pretty sure we're still rolling on.
That's all right.
Yeah, but we.
Let's do one more. I want you to try by yourself. Let's say the equation is y equals -5x minus 6. And just plug in those 5 numbers and see if you get the right y. And if you do, then you know you're going to be able to graph. How much time?
13.
Don't you do that?
Sorry, whoever's absent, do that on your own.